DECAP.
So how I might start an 808 is just loading up Operator in Ableton. So you start with a sine wave, that's just bass. And I don't know how I'm gonna make this. A lot of times when I go to make drums, sometimes I'll knock it out the park and it'll be crazy. Other times it'll just be whack. I'm not guaranteeing this is gonna be a good 808. I make thousands and thousands of sounds to come up with these kits. So I just loaded up an Operator. First we're gonna shape it. We're turning down the sustain all the way and we're messing with the decay. Increase the release just to get our shape. So right now we just have the bass shape. That's the basic shape of it. You notice 808s have more of a punch at the beginning. I'm gonna turn on this pitch envelope and I'm gonna turn it up. Here you can adjust the peak. So you wanna hit that sweet spot. Keep adjusting the pitch envelope because you want to get that initial transient. From there, Operator is cool. You can adjust it with the time knob, which is like a dry wet for all the effects. So as you turn this up, it's making the pitch envelope more extreme, making the release more extreme, the sustain, everything. Play around with it. Make it tighter or more loose. I'm gonna keep it like that. Let's see, what are we gonna add to it? Izotope Trash. Izotope Trash is great because they have a lot of different distortion algorithms. So you can get some real good sounds out of it. Even that, I like that, Elastic Trash plugin. And then you can adjust the wave shape. If you look in the background, that's showing you the shape of the waveform. As I turn that up, you can see it's round. It's a soft clipping distortion algorithm. As you turn it way up, it's more like hard clipping, but it's still soft clipping because those transients are rounded. Without it, with it. We have kind of an 808. You can even add a second stage of distortion to it. That's kind of cool. I'm just gonna turn down the mix knob so there's only a little bit of that stage 2 on it. That's cool, I like that. Then I'm gonna add a saturator on top of it. Why not? Add an EQ. I'm gonna throw a limiter at the end so it doesn't clip. Let's throw a UAD TS Overdrive. I wanna see what this sounds like. Try something. I'm gonna do parallel processing on this. So we're gonna just affect the high end. What I did right there, I added an audio effect rack. I'm doing parallel processing. So the high frequencies are on its own chain, and I have UAD TS Overdrive on just the high frequencies. Low frequencies, there's nothing on it, but that's just how you define the parallel processing. This is something I love about Ableton. You can do parallel processing on different frequency bands. After this, I'm gonna add an imager from Izotope on the high frequencies only. Guys, this is some like serious secret sauce.
Be responsible with this.
Please. What's cool about this chain is you can mute the low frequencies. So we're just affecting the high frequencies right now. And I'm gonna put stereo width to the high frequency. There is really no high frequencies in this sound. Now with the lows. And now I can adjust the volume of the lows and highs separately. That sounds good to my ears. I like that. And And then from there, what I'll normally do is send it out, run it through some hardware. Depends on the track, finding that sweet spot. Izotope Exciter. This is a great one. And then you can always go back and tweak the sound. And so now we have a pretty dope 808. That's pretty hard. Someone asked how to make the kick and 808 blend together. One thing you can do, you can duplicate it. Instead of having this be an 808, you could just turn this into a kick. We have our 808 here, so we're gonna call this 808, and we're gonna call this kick. And we'll delete these just to make it clear, make it a different color. A kick shape is different. So I'm gonna kill some of this processing. Kick is much shorter. The decay was longer for the 808, so we're gonna turn down the decay. We're gonna set the initial all the way up, and we're gonna increase the attack, because a kick, if you look at it, has a punch to it. As I turn down the decay, we're making a kick. Play with the pitch envelope. Play with the pitch in general. Time. I mean, that could be another way to do it. So you have your kick, adjust the time. There you go. We did it. So we just made a kick, add more saturation, tighten it up. Now we want to know how to match a kick in 808. Basically, we made the 808 in Operator, and we made the kick with basically the same settings in Operator. So naturally, you're not gonna have to work to balance those sounds. So when I'm doing drums that knock, all the frequencies are so cohesive because I'm making a lot of them in Operator or in a different synth. It kind of keeps it together sounding. Now when we mix this kick and this 808, they're gonna sound good together. Hear that? That sounds real good. That sounds fire. That's cool. Now you know how to do that, but you're not going to be making kicks and 808s on every track. When I produce, I just want to take a kick, take an 808, and run. I'm ready to go. What we're going to do is just dive into Drums That Knock 9, and I'm going to show you how to blend a kick and 808 from the kit. All right, so I'm going to take Magic Warm Bassy Kick from Drums That Knock 9. Let's look at it. So if we look at this waveform, you can see it's soft clipped, because if you look at the waveform, like, it's rounded, and this waveform is less round. This is soft clipped, but it kind of looks like it's hard clipped because it's almost hard clipped. Hard clipped, it would be a straight line and sharp corners. So let's blend it with an 808. So let's take this 808 and we're gonna layer it. I mean, it already sounds good. Drums That Knock, when you load up sounds from the kits, they're just gonna sound good together. So there's not a ton of processing you need to do. One thing you could do is you can literally fade in that 808. So when the kick hits, check this out. That is so clean. When the kick hits, the 808's literally not making sound. That's probably the cleanest way to do it. Some people sidechain. I like doing it by hand because you can really dial in that sound. And you can adjust your kick and your 808 just to hit that sweet spot. Fire. From there, if you group that, you can add a glue compressor or any compressor. Just a little bit of compression. It'll just glue it together. DECAP.